My sister Hannah and I are what you call Irish twins. My name is Mia, and Irish twins refer to a mother having two babies in the same year. My dad had no idea how to raise girls, and whenever I asked him to do my hair once, he took a vacuum cleaner and he sucked the world's tightest ponytail into it, and I looked so surprised all day because my hair was pulled back so tight. Since Dad was so clueless, my Aunt Jenna came over often to help him. For some reason, she never liked me much. I think that it's because she adored Hannah. Even though we were the same age, I think it was because she was prettier than me. Hannah and I were nothing alike. Hannah was your typical girly girl who was really into her looks, whereas I was more carefree. I liked wearing comfortable clothes and playing sports. Hannah didn't understand me along with my aunt, so she and my aunt always referred to me as the tomboy. But when I was 7, I asked my dad if we could do a father-daughter costume for Halloween. My dad spent 2 months making them, and we dressed for our favorite movie, Ghostbusters. Dad was a Ghostbuster and I was a tiny marshmallow man. We loved our costumes. But as we were trick-or-treating, Hannah and her friend pointed at us and laughed. "What even are you?" Yeah, who'd want to be a marshmallow for Halloween? We get to be princesses. Oh, come on, Hannah. It's Halloween. Have some fun. It's supposed to be spooky. Don't be so mean to your sister. Everyone has a right to like what they like. But Hannah and her friends just kept making faces and saying mean things about my costume, and I felt mad, so I threw a whole handful of mud and smeared it all over their dresses. My dad took my hand. I thought he was going to yell at me, but he actually couldn't stop laughing the entire way home. In 3rd grade, Hannah and I were really surprised when Aunt Jenna came to pick us up from school really early. She told us that our dad had gotten into a really bad car accident on his way to work and that he was dead. My whole world crumbled to pieces. You girls are going to come live with me now. The first few days went by in a haze. Aunt Jenna was always working, and she'd shower us with presents to make up for it. Hannah took it a lot better than I did, and she living in our aunt's house because it was a mansion and she got everything she wanted. But I didn't care about that stuff. I mostly stayed in my room or went for runs in the huge gardens. I miss my dad. Are you just going to be sad and moody forever? I miss Dad too, but we have to move on at some point. I couldn't believe her. Get out of my room, witch, I told her. When we were in the 5th grade, Aunt Jenna had a party at our house for her friends. She bought each of us a dress and a pair of shoes. When Hannah came downstairs, everyone gushed over how beautiful she looked. But when they saw me, they bursted out into laughter. The dress she got me was itchy, so I decided to wear my favorite t-shirt under it. And I also wore my sneakers instead because of the shoes she got me hurt my feet. Aunt Jenna was not happy when she saw me. She pulled me aside into the kitchen and asked me why I was dressed like that. And I told her it's because I liked it like that. And she said she didn't. So she told me to go change, and I asked her why. She said, "Why?" "Because I want you to look pretty for my guests." "Why?" "Oh, can't you just be more like your sister?" "Nope, I'm good." "Oh, can I have cake before dinner?" With that, I ran into the living room and began helping myself to all the cake. And Aunt Jenna joked that I was just like my dad, so I took that as a compliment. And Hannah pinched my arm and said, "Maybe you should try and be less annoying." And I said, "Maybe you should be less lame." She cringed when she saw all that food in my mouth. When I was in the 10th grade, I tried out for the school's track team. I loved running, and I was super fast. While I was there, I noticed Hannah was auditioning for the cheer squad. That was typical. Just then, I noticed a boy running back to catch a football, but he wasn't looking where he's going, so crashed right into the cheerleaders. I was happy to see that Hannah fell down like a bowling ball, but then she started rubbing her ankle. But when she got up, she started screaming at him like crazy. The boy didn't react at all. He just waved at them and walked off. When I went to go grab water from the bleachers, the boy looked at me, then back at Hannah. And I said, "We're not actually twins, we're Irish twins." The boy frowned and helped us. He reached his pocket. He helped us hear that. That's when I realized he was deaf. We helped him hear that. I said we weren't actually twins, and he said, "Oh, that's not what I thought you said." But I wasn't sure. It helps you talk clear if you do it with the hearing aid on. Trust me, I'm way cooler than her. He laughed, and we instantly clicked. He was a year older and practicing for football tryouts. He had to take out his hearing aids because the helmet didn't give him enough space for them. We talked the whole day, and I invited him for a study date. The next day when Hannah came, she saw it and got so angry. "Excuse me, stalker much? Why is he in my house? Get over yourself. We're studying. Just leave." She threw a total tantrum and ran to Aunt Jenna. "That's the boy who knocked me down, Auntie. Get him out. He almost killed me. Look at how swollen my ankle is." "That's not true. It was just an accident." I explained to Aunt Jenna what happened, and although she didn't seem happy about it, she told Hannah to leave us alone. The next day when Billy came over, I told him to wait for me, and while I grabbed us some drinks, suddenly I heard a loud crash. I ran back and found Billy frantically cleaning up glass, and then I looked at Hannah run away laughing. And later she came back with Aunt Jenna and said that creep broke our expensive vase. And she said, "Oh God, my brother's vase, this boy will have to pay." I saw her running. "It's true, miss. I was nowhere near it. This was a family heirloom. It's been in my family for years," my aunt said. "Just get out, both of you." Later that night, she came into my room and said that Billy was no longer welcome at the place anymore. "That boy is discrimination. He broke my vase. He just seems like trouble. You can make much better friends. Do not bring him around here anymore. Is that clear? Hannah did it. Why won't you believe me?" No matter how much I tried to reason with her, she wouldn't hear another word about it. But of course I didn't care what she said. And I wasn't going to stop seeing Billy. Every day after school, we'd meet in parks and malls. And we grew super close. He taught me sign language, and we even started going to the gym sometimes together. I was more happy to have an excuse not to go home early. And before I knew it, I had fallen head over heels in love with him. The week before my 16th birthday, I snuck out late one night to see Billy at the park. We strolled by the lake. I stopped. I looked deep into his eyes, signing "I love you" to him. Billy smiled happily. Just then, a police car pulled up right in front of us, and my aunt jumped out from the back seat along with Hannah. How did they even find us? "You see, Jenna, I told you she would be with him. How dare you sneak out of the house like this? I'll ground you till you're 40. You called the police? Are you insane? I wouldn't need to sneak around if you would just chill out. We care about each other, and I'm going to see him, whether you like it or not." "That's nonsense. You barely know this kid. How do you know he's not after you for my money? I know his family, and they are not our kind of people." "Don't talk about him like that," I said. "Not everything in this world is about looks or money. You'd actually know that if you got to know him. But you refuse to. Get in the car. We'll discuss your punishment when we get home." "Punish me all you want, because I don't care. I don't care if you ground me until my life is end." This woman had lost her mind, and I didn't care. When my birthday came around, I was still grounded, and Aunt Jenna had taken my phone to ensure I couldn't talk to Billy. I was so angry. I needed to find a way out of this mess. Later that night, I heard a tap on my window that woke me up from sleeping. I saw Billy standing in the bushes and doing some silly faces, and I smiled at him. He said to me, "I love you too." My heart melted at that sign. And now I felt more determined than ever to find an escape route from my aunt's house. A week later, when I could finally leave the house, I rushed straight to the local library. With the excuse that I had to catch up on my missed schoolwork, Billy was waiting for me in the world history section, and the moment I saw him, I flew into his arms. "I'm sorry about everything. I don't not know how it was my fault that woman is crazy." He said that woman was bitter. "I miss you so much," as his lips touched mine. My very first kiss. I have to find out my dad's lawyer was. I'm sure Dad must have left something for me and Hannah. I just have to find a way to be free from her. For the next few weeks, Billy and I played the world's most intense game of Mission Impossible. I even changed his name on my phone as Sasha. At home, I tried to dress nice to make Aunt Jenna happy. At the same, I went to work to find my dad's lawyer. Aunt Jenna was clearing up the house, so I thought it was harder than I thought. to find it. Then I remembered my dad's old lawyer that were friends, and I went to go see him to see if he knew anything. Things went smoothly, but Hannah was growing a bit suspicious of my sudden change in attitude. I even caught her sneaking around outside my room a few times. But the week before summer break, I messed up big time. Senior prom was around and Billy asked me to be his date. I desperately wanted to go, but I knew my aunt would never allow it, so I lied to her and told her that another boy, Jared, had asked me to go. I thought she'd be okay with it because she knew his mother and he was a rich kid. But when Hannah heard this, she blew her top. Are you kidding me? I had an eye on Jared for 2 whole months. And now you go and steal him from me? She ran to Aunt crying. Oh boy, I cannot believe you do this to your poor sister. What were you thinking? You hurt her. And I said she never mentioned him before, and I'm pretty sure he's gay too. You're such a liar. You're jealous of me. I can't stand the fact that I'm in love. Oh, get over yourself, Hannah. You're not the one who's constantly trying to impress and buy friends. You're the one who's constantly trying to buy friends for people actually like me. Lila, you are just as maddening. Excuse me, Dad was a great. Don't you dare talk poorly about my dad. Since she yelled at me and grounded me, and I didn't know how to get out of my home, so I decided to pack my bags and run away instantly. If my name wasn't Ella Roosevelt. Quietly communicating with Dad's lawyer, he shared some news with me because I knew I couldn't run away that quick. Then I told Aunt and Hannah that an important guest was here to see us. We went downstairs to find an old man in a suit. That was the lawyer of my dad. He had the money. Billy was standing by the door and told me, "Why is that boy here?" And my aunt told me, "Why is the boy here?" And he explained that according to Dad's will, I was free to leave my guardian after 16. And then he revealed the most shocking news. Dad had inherited me and Hannah all the family diamonds and gold. But you already knew that, right, Auntie? You were going to keep this knowledge from us till you found some way to steal our inheritance. Aunt's face had turned livid. That was supposed to be mine. I don't understand why my idiot brother inherited those jewels from our mother, but I will not lose them again. You already have, and isn't much you can do about it. Hannah, I know Aunt Jenna has never liked me much, but she is going to rob you too, her favorite niece. I suggest you take your share and leave her too, because she is a vulture. With that, Billy and I left with Aunt begging and Hannah screaming at her. Billy said, "So now that you're free, what happens next?" I smiled and jumped to his arms, kissing him. The wonderful part? I have no idea, but I know now my life is going to be a lot better from now on. Thank you so much for putting up with it. Billy smiled. Sweetie, I love you.